I am not enough. It's a lie for a doctor's career. Behind each and every uncertainty that people feel, the I am not enough is something that can be devastating. Each and every day, people affect their life by how they believe themselves to be. And when you believe that you're not enough, when you believe you're not enough, there can be all kinds of things that happen within your life and your career. Exhaustion is what happened to Doctor of Psychology. She came into my office and she just kept complaining of being so tired. She could barely move. She was so exhausted. She's barely holding on to her practice because she was so tired constantly. As we get into deeper discussions, we found out that there was a couple of things behind that. And keep in mind that if you're working with yourself, you are looking for things that are labeled one thing, but possibly another. Like exhaustion for her was an incredible fear. And we went a little deeper than that. Why would she, an educated woman with a beautiful private practice, why would she have so much fear? And we took a deeper dive. And we looked a little further. And this one she consciously knew and subconsciously knew, because she didn't realize how bad it was, but she could actually tell me she had a learning disability. And that learning disability led to tormenting and torture as a child. That learning disability made it hard for her to get through school. Very hard, but she did. And instead of taking great pride that I accomplished this with this learning disability, with these terrible fears that I have, what she took was, I am not enough. I am not good enough to really be on top of all these cases. What if I was to diagnose something wrong? She knew that would bring uncertainty. She knew that there were so many ways that she could be, in her mind, harming people with the wrong diagnosis, the wrong treatments, the wrong somethings. And it became irrational to the point of if someone came in with something very simple, she had them all twisted around in her head, and she knew it was time to take a little break. So then that's when she came to see me. So as we looked at this, the fear had crawled into so many different areas in her life. Her self-esteem tumbled so low, and the exhaustion was unbearable. She was so tired that she actually had a driver to bring her to my office for safety, and she needed to feel that she had someone watching over her. So she went from the professional to one needing a professional, and we got down to it. So with her obvious knowledge of psychology, we jumped into a lot of different things, but her affirmations I'd like to go over with you just a little bit. So she knew how to get into a trance. That wasn't her specialty, but that was something that she knew and she could do. But she started shaking when she did. So I ended up doing some body work with her, some different meridian therapies for calming the nervous system and relieving some blockages. If you're interested, or if you need some personal work with that, please use the QR code and or reach me with the description. But the ones that were important for her that I think might be important to share with you was, they keep in mind, this is a woman with a doctorate in psychology. That's a lot of work. Didn't give herself credit for that. She could not accept that having a PsyD was an important thing because she kept looking at the learning disability. The learning disability for her was the takedown. It brought her into, there's not even words for what she could describe. It was something where she was wickedly exhausted. She couldn't believe that any of her patients would listen to her. She couldn't believe that the world was safe. She couldn't believe that so many things that she logically knew could and should be safe weren't. So we needed to bridge that gap. There was a lot of things when I just shook my head. That's what she did. There were so many feelings, and that she could not identify them. But we did come up, like I said, with some affirmations. So we did go into the trance state. And while she was there, she actually had someone sit with her in my treatment room because she had so much fear when we started. And with that, the affirmations were something that helped soothe her. So this one that's going to start, it may sound a little funny, but this is the wording that came out for her. So never use anybody else's wording. If you're doing a hypnotherapy, mind control, anything that would help reprogram your subconscious, because they have to be your words or they're not going to be taken. You can repeat the same thing 100 times. And if your subconscious doesn't take it or believe it, it's not going to do anything. So for her, what came out was, I know my stuff. Okay. Now I say that with certainty. I really know my stuff. I know because I've went into so many different places in my life with not just my private practice, but my health has been challenging for most of my life. And there was an awful lot I had to learn that had nothing to do with book knowledge. I know my stuff. I know stuff that nobody else would know. So I could use this statement also, but not everybody could. Her statement was, I know my stuff. And it took her a little while to have some command over that. She started with, I know my stuff. Her voice was low. And this was a woman who was close to 6 feet tall. But in my chair, she was so low. So we worked her up to, I know my stuff. And she could say that with certainty. And this was not a one-time treatment with her. Some people can be one time, most are two, but she definitely needed a lot more. Her situation was pretty deep. Definitely not impossible once it's brought up to the surface. Another one was for her, I will love my career again. She went into psychology, wanting to figure herself out. And as she did this, she wanted to know how to fix herself, how to get out of the situation of feeling so stinking low. That was another one of her words, stinking low with her self-esteem. And education isn't everything. Having a PsyD is important. When you can say you're a doctor in psychology, there's a lot of respect that goes with that. She could go anywhere and do all kinds of things with that. But her fear was stopping her. Her fear of misdiagnosis. So when we imprinted, because we recognized it, that we exposed it to her consciousness, although she pretty much knew most of it. And then we're starting to do the imprint. So the imprint that I love my career again was really powerful for her because she had a love for what she did. She really did. It was just the spiral had taken her down to a place where she was not comfortable. And the last affirmation that I'm going to share with you today, which I think will be powerful, I know my stuff. I will love my career again. And the last was, I'm okay. And I don't mean I am okay. I'm okay. With a sense of authority, with a sense of knowingness, with a sense of feeling like in your heart, your mind, your being, your soul matches with the intellect that knows that you're okay. And if any of those are off, you have to go to that alignment, and those could be a lot of different therapies. Beautiful techniques are available for those as well. So go to that alignment, I am okay. And that works if you don't have the blockages there that would prohibit you from getting to that place. If you have a block, then we need to work on that. And we did with her. We did the hypnotherapy with her. There's a ton of different ways that you can look at any particular situation and different ways to heal it. When you get to a point where you're working on something and then you feel like you're stuck, usually a new modality would be something that can improve that. And when that blockage then releases, then your alignment can be more guaranteed to stay, and you can have a better uplifting feeling in your body, mind, spirit, and soul. And as that happens, your heart is lighter and your soul is filled, and you will feel a whole heck of a lot better. So if anything on this video is something of interest to you and you would like to get some more information or have a chat with me, there is a QR code available, and there's also something in the description that would allow you to connect with me and talk. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the time to look into yourself. That is something that is daring for some, that's expected for others, and just never stopping for some. And sometimes the more you get to know about yourself, the happier that you get to be, and that's a journey worth taking.